Good morning. Morning, Natalie Rose. Good morning. Hi. Hello, YouTube. I'm back again. It took me a little minute to get going this morning because I had to unpack all of my practice supplies. I got in late last night. Very happy to be home. Missed my cats so much. And I think they missed me. They were quite cuddly last night and purring, and we were all purring. So we are now in the month of Guanyin in the temple, and we're going to be. Thank you. Thank you, Priestess Josiah. I appreciate your good wishes. It was productive. Uh, we are going to be working with this book. It's called Guanyin, Accessing the Power of the Divine Feminine by Daniella Schenker. And it is a beautifully illustrated book with the 33 different forms of Guanyin. And it gives us the portion of the Lotus Sutra that describes the form of Guanyin that we're going to be working with. So I don't know if you can see it properly. There we go. Here's different forms. So what I'm going to do, good evening from London, Red Fox. Nice to see you. How's your precious little pup? And of course, older dog. I don't want older sibling dog to feel jealous. I love them both. I'm coming in November. I hope I can see you. Okay, so we are going to just pick these at random. And when we pick, I'll just sort of bibliomancy it. I'm just going to... Today's Guanyin is Guanyin of Virtue with the keyword single-mindedness. Both doggos are as cute as ever, and I'm so excited to see you in November. Oh, me too. All right, so here's Guanyin of Virtue. She's holding a lotus in her left hand and looks like a vajra or scepter in her right hand. I'll show you here. So here's the portion of the Lotus Sutra, chapter 25, that describes this form of Guanyin. When lawsuits bring you before the officials, when terrified in the midst of an army, think on the power of that perceiver of sounds, and hatred in all its forms will be dispelled. Guanyin sits upon a rock, holding a golden scepter studded with gemstones in her left hand and a lotus flower in her right. In this form, she appears as a heavenly general with majestic powers to whom the sentient beings pay respect. The heavenly general is also named Vaishravana, the one who hears everything. Radiating the virtue of a compassionate warrior, Guanyin reflects the power and devotion of an advocate who strives for higher aims. Frequently, we humans are so entangled in our everyday battles with all of their petty issues that we lose sight of the higher goals we would like to achieve. When we regain our focus and our vision, we can go out into the world like a heavenly general and powerfully tackle the tasks before us. I can't help but notice that, thank you, Priestess Mary Beth. I was so impressed with your photos of the cloud ships the other day. Oh my goodness, that was epic. I hope to see some of them. Hi, Andrea. You saw those same ones, didn't you? Those beautiful clouds over Mount Shasta. Okay, to this Guanyin of Virtue, the general, the heavenly general, and this concept of the lawsuits, the army, I can't help but think about something that's happened, just was in the news this morning. This morning, I saw it in the news that one of the individuals who was tasked with lighting the cauldron of flame, the sacred cauldron of flame at the Olympic Games, was a Uyghur, had a Uyghur last name, and that this individual was selected for the optics of it. Because, as many of us know, there have been tremendous violations of the civil rights of the Uyghur people in China. If you don't know about this topic, you can easily look it up. Ughyur is how I think you spell Uyghur. And I'm thinking about how no amount of optics can right the wrongs that are done on a systemic level to oppressed peoples. And often, what passes for inclusion or diversity work has more to do with the optics than with the actual connecting at the heart and attempting to understand everyone's perspectives and rooting out the tendencies toward oppression that might be inherent in a governmental structure or inherent in the cultural zeitgeist, particularly over time in East Asia. The Han people have, across China, but also into Korea and in other places, asserted dominance. So I wonder if the heavenly general, Guanyin, Vaishravana, is attending to this. Apparently, many civil rights leaders are speaking out now against that display, saying that it's not true to reality. So let's hear a little further on how warrior Guanyin of Virtue, the heavenly general, might impact our own lives today. Oh, and a card just fell out, so I'm going to take that one. And the card for today is the Book of Changes, the Tao. Guanyin is a unique figure in that she is Buddhist, but she's honored in Taoism as well, and pretty much honored across pantheons in East Asia. It's almost like everyone connects with Guanyin. Oh, I look tan and shiny today, says Christy. Oh, thank you. I'm trying to stay out of the sun because I can't wear sunscreen anymore, but it's getting at me. Okay. Just like a beautiful but unusual melody, the divine plan is unfolding through your life. It isn't always predictable. Guanyin is guiding you in the right direction. Even if you do not fully understand what is happening in your life right now, allow Guanyin to bless you with trust in the unfoldment of your own divine path. The Book of Changes is always at play, the Tao, helping us find the way. You are just taking a smarter route to your destination. Sometimes situations or circumstances occur that seem to take us away from our desired goal or cause us to question whether we need to take matters into our own hands to achieve our desired manifestation. Even if we do not understand why something is happening the way that it is right now, with patience and experience, the wisdom and helpfulness of a situation will often be revealed, and we can marvel at how we were assisted through the workings of a higher intelligence that we may not have understood at the time. Just like an experienced guide on a mountaintop, Guanyin has traversed the spiritual path over many lifetimes to arrive at her enlightened and compassionate state. She is very wise, and she is blessing you with her grace, even when that grace appears to be a dark cloud, a delay, an unexpected disappointment, or even a wonderful new opportunity in a different direction. She can help you avoid the pitfalls that you do not need to encounter if you trust in her guidance. She can read the book of changes and understand the divine path, the divine plan unfolding through you to help lift you on your divine path with the least amount of struggle. Good morning, Jamyang. So, the book of changes, I think it's really important to note when things come up that seem to be obstacles, things that seem really difficult to swallow, things we might not like, that sometimes they are signs from the divine. And trusting those obstacles, trusting that that challenging or negative set of circumstances is actually working in our favor can be very difficult. We can really dig down and think we knew how things were supposed to go. But what if there's a higher purpose to the slight discomforts that some of us experience? We might experience even a big discomfort. But when we experience those, are we able to look back later and see, well, even though it didn't work out the way I thought it should, it worked out the way it was supposed to? I think that taking that kind of view for all different manner of things that might have a longer arc than we can perceive readily is a good idea. One of the things that I've learned, and it's interesting because if I say this, people will think I'm speaking from a place of privilege, which certainly, as compared to many, I do have that kind of a level of privilege. I have an education, I have parents who loved me and did their very best with me. I am able to live in California and have a home here. I have my own business. These are all privileges. I've worked hard, but I don't take any of it for granted. However, the people who taught me what I'm about to say have endured some of the most difficult, painful disruption of their lives in history, and that is the Tibetan Buddhists. The Tibetan Buddhists will often point out when something negative happens, yeah, maybe that's good because maybe this bad thing happened because it's a good thing. Or, for example, Tibetan Buddhism is predicated upon one of the prophecies of Padmasambhava, 8th century uh, Hindu turned Buddhist who came and brought Buddhism to Tibet, um, originally from Pakistan. Um, he he said, "When the iron bird flies and horses run on wheels, the Tibetans will scatter like ants across the earth and bring the Dharma." And so, even though what's happened that has caused an enormous migration of Tibetan refugees across the earth would be considered really, really difficult, really painful, really bad, there's still an attitude within the spiritual tradition that the Dharma has come to the earth as a result of this, and that this is fundamentally a good thing, even though it came at tremendous personal cost. The self sacrificing nature of Tibetan Buddhism is rooted in this. It's rooted in something that's very unfamiliar to the Western mind. The Western mind thinks of self sacrifice as discomfort, whereas the Tibetan Buddhist view thinks of self sacrifice as ultimate, the ultimate. So there are teachers who have come here to the West from Tibet and endured tremendous difficulty. There are Buddhists who, during the Cultural Revolution, were tortured and imprisoned, enduring tremendous pain. And I've met people who were imprisoned and tortured, Buddhist teachers who were imprisoned and tortured, and who then later got out and came to the West. And when they talk about what's happened, they talk about it like, well, it strengthened my faith and it helped me prepare for what I was about to do. Their approach, their selfless approach, is unlike anything I've encountered in Western culture, for sure. So, when we look at the discomforts of our own lives, often we will not feel confident to ascribe a higher purpose to these. It's difficult for us to reconcile it. And I'm not saying that ascribing a higher purpose to our suffering means we have to justify any abuse or bad thing that's happened to us. We don't. If somebody has treated us poorly, if somebody has harmed us, if somebody has oppressed us, we don't have to see them as a good agent or see that what's happened is good. What we can do is we can look at the circumstance and say, I can see where something in myself was cultivated as a result of that experience that may not have been there in me if I hadn't gone through that. It's not the same as saying everything happens for a reason. It's saying things that happen can be assigned a valuable purpose. And we can cultivate from our tragedies and difficulties a sense of true, durable strength that is unshakable. And I dare say that will serve us very well as our world continues to change. So that's our short bit for today. I forgot to do this. I have this beautiful candle. It smells really good. Um, this was a gift from Priestess Divana. She got it when we were traveling through Turkey. And it's this beautiful pink candle. So this will be our Guanyin candle. And Paris says, things that happen can be assigned a valuable purpose. I am living this truth. I witness you living that, Paris. And for anyone else who's able to see where difficult circumstances in your life have given rise to a quality of character within you that would not be there otherwise, I honor and salute your ability to do so. And I think for anybody who's struggling to do so, no judgment. Just spend a little time when you feel like things are hard, investigating what might be the higher purpose that you could derive from those challenging circumstances, and see if that doesn't help your mind reorient itself to a stronger position going forward, so that you don't feel destroyed and uh, beaten down, but instead you feel strong. And I think it's very interesting that this optical situation happened with the lighting of the cauldron at the Olympics. What if, in attempting to create this optical illusion of fairness, the powers that be have accidentally ignited an entire world knowing about what's happening? It's entirely possible that the attention that comes to the weaker people as a result of this act will completely backfire and not at all be what was optically intended. The lighting of a sacred fire is a very important gesture. The sacred fire lit at the Olympic Games has been done since ancient times. By the power of the lighting of a sacred fire of illumination, may the plight of the Uyghur people become very clear, and may there be some kind of global ignition of passionate advocacy that ultimately yields the eventual and inevitable freedom of all those who have been oppressed. Let's make our prostrations. I'm happy to be back at my home altar. And let's take refuge. Namo Guru Be. I take refuge in the inner teacher. Namo Buddhaye. I take refuge in the great mother of compassion. Namo Dharmaye. I take refuge in the wisdom of the ages. Namo Sanghaye. I take refuge in the community of practitioners. And let's set our intention, a person, place, situation, or circumstance that will benefit from today's practice. Today, I'm holding so much gratitude for finding out yesterday that a dear friend's son, who was feared to have a mass in his lung that could have been cancerous, had a biopsy, and it revealed that the mass was gone and that there was no cancer. And I'm holding another sister who's really deeply struggling with being oppressed in her home by a partner who has become unstable and abusive. And holding another sister who is still recovering from illness. And let's recite the Four Immeasurables. May I be a source of loving kindness in this world and all worlds, bringing a generous heart to all my thoughts and doings. May I be a vehicle of compassion in this world and all worlds, ever mindful and aware of the tremendous suffering of others. May I be a brimming vessel of joy in this world and all worlds, delighting in the happiness of others as their suffering is alleviated. May I be a balance point of equanimity in this world and all worlds, seeing all as equals and all as deserving of goodness. I light this candle as a symbol of the enlightening Dharma way. May it shine brightly for the benefit of all beings. I light this incense as an offering to Guanyin, she who hears the cries of the world, mother of all. And I have no water in my pot, so we'll resume water offerings tomorrow. Reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every type of offering, actual and virtual. I confess all my destructive actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in the meditation of all holy and ordinary beings. Please, Guanyin, remain until the end of samsaric existence, and turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of others to the great enlightenment. 108 recitations now of Namo Guanyin Pusa, as we call out to the one who has endured tremendous difficulty and nonetheless finds her purpose in compassion for others. Namo Guanyin Pusa, 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 Namo Guanyin Pusa. Namo Guanyin Pusa, 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 Namo Guanyin Pusa. Namo Guanyin Pusa, 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 Namo Guanyin Pusa. Namo Guanyin Pusa, 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 Namo Guanyin Pusa. Namo Guanyin Pusa, 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 Namo Guanyin Pusa. Namo Guanyin Pusa, Namo Guanyin Pusa, Namo Guanyin Pusa. 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 And our prayer to Yeshit Sogyo by Jamyang Kensei Chuki Ludro. Yingchuk daki soma karchenza dusum kunchim pema junye ki zangso dupo ze dechen so gyomar sowa debso chuktun nudrup so. Mother of space, foremost of dakinis, Lady Karchenza, gatherer of the secret treasury of Padmakara, knower of all past, present, and future. Mother Sogyo, great bliss queen, to you we pray, grant us cities, ordinary and supreme. Ying chukdaki somo karchensa disum kunchim pema jungye ki sangso dupo dechen sogyamar sowa debso chuktun nudrup so. And now 108 recitations of Om Mani Padme Hung, sending out our good energies to all those in need today. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And let's give thanks for our teachers. May all of my blessed teachers enjoy long, happy, healthy, productive lives and great support for their good works. May all beings benefit from their wisdom. May they enjoy a swift and happy rebirth. And long life prayer for Lama Dechin Yeshiwangmo. Om Sosti. Through the powerful blessings of the immortal Pema Jungye and his consort, may the three secret qualities of the Dakini of supreme bliss Yeshiwangmo be utterly stable, and may the light of her activities shine on the lotus groves of the teachings and of beings, so that they blossom in radiant splendor. And let's dedicate the merit. May the merit of this practice and all of my activities be of endless benefit to all beings in all realms, beginningless and continuous. May all obstacles be overcome and suffering cease, at the sound of liberation. May all beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all beings have happiness and its causes. May we carry the essence of Guanyin in our hearts. Namo Guanxin Pusa. And we close with a bow to Guanyin. It's nice to be home. Bow to one another and a bow to the inner teacher. Wishing everyone a good weekend. Blessed day, sisters, and everyone's sending hearts and blessed bees. I hope, and thank yous and 108s, thank you. I hope everybody has a great day and a great weekend, and we'll be back on Monday.